Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. And today's lesson, guys, we're going to be looking at Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's The Amazing Spider-Man issue 15. And this is the debut of Kraven the Hunter. And yeah, it's going to be a really good video today. So without any further ado, let's jump right into today's story. Let's go. So this story starts off with us seeing the Chameleon, and the Chameleon has hired the help of a person called Kraven the Hunter, who is a hunter that comes from Africa that has hunted almost every animal known to man, if I'm correct. And yeah, so we also get to see during this introduction that we get to see that Betty Brant is still having these jealousy issues with Peter Parker and Liz Allen. We also get to see Flash in this scene as well, and it's just, pretty crazy. Now we get to see that Kraven the Hunter goes off to fight against some animals that escaped from the zoo, and I think it's the zoo that they came from. They were basically being loaded on like these crates and that, by these machines. The machines, I guess, malfunctioned or something, and the animals broke loose from their cages. So they're attacking civilians, or they're trying to attack civilians. So Peter makes his way out of the crowd and gets in his Spider-Man costume. And when he arrives, he sees that Kraven the Hunter is taking on different animals, such as, king cobras and giant apes, and it's pretty interesting. Now, eventually, Kraven goes off, after he defeats all these animals, and he's just, prowling through the city, and he sees Spider-Man in action against some, I guess, gang members or something, and he's basically, foiling their plans. And Kraven's just looking at how Spider-Man fights. Eventually, they actually get into a fight of themselves, and it's a really good fight scene. We get to see Kraven's hand-to-hand skills, and his skills in using different types of weapons to take on animals. He actually lands a hit, which I'm not sure if it's just his pure strength that he was able to damage Spider-Man's shoulder. So if so, then Kraven's not a regular human, because Spider-Man has, super spider strength. So I'm guessing it has something to do with like some poison, something that he hit Spider-Man with. So Kraven basically attacks Spider-Man, and Spider-Man gets away after, getting hit by some type of poison or something that's making him dizzy. And he basically takes the L. Now, Kraven goes to Chameleon, and Chameleon doesn't understand why Kraven's so excited to fight someone like Spider-Man, and, why does he find this, just enjoyable. But Kraven says that he likes the thrill of the hunt, and he can't wait to fight Spider-Man again. Now, we get to see Peter Parker and Betty Brant's relationship not doing so good, because Betty's basically getting jealous over every single girl that Peter's talking to. It's very toxic, this relationship. I wasn't sure if this was the way the relationship was going to be in the last few issues, as she has been showing signs of jealousy, but this is really not healthy. And I really hope that they kind of break up, because it's just not working out between these characters. I understand why Betty's jealous, because she's an older woman, and Peter's, still in high school, so she thinks he's going to get with a younger woman. But, these are just things that, you have to talk through in relationships, and just not working. So J. Jonah Jameson talks to Kraven the Hunter and tells him that he wants him to bring, I guess, Spider-Man into, to the law, and not to kill him or do something illegal, because that will give J. Jonah Jameson a bad name. Kraven basically tells him that no one talks to him like that, and no one dictates what he does. And Peter's basically, getting like the jitters because of his recent loss to Kraven, and knowing that Kraven's trying to hunt him down. Eventually, Kraven goes off into, I believe it's the New York City Zoo, and this is where they engage in their final battle. Well, not final battle, but, their battle that will decide who wins between these two, and, in their first bout, I guess you could say. Their set of bouts. And, yeah, so Spider-Man, tries to fight against Kraven the Hunter. Kraven launches a trap on Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is able to escape. But he's caught in this device that basically tries to bring his shoulder to his, I guess his ankle, or his knees, I guess, his kneecap. And it's basically like a magnetic force that's trying to bring his shoulder and, his elbow and his kneecap to each other, basically. and it's hindering Spider-Man's ability to fight. Eventually, Spider-Man's able to get this type of like handcuff off, and he's able to fight against Kraven, despite the handicap that he has. Is he's not able to get it completely off, but he's able to make it to where they're not, trying to go at each other, basically. And the battle was pretty good, and eventually Spider-Man gets the upper hand when he realizes that the Chameleon was actually impersonating Kraven to kind of throw Spider-Man off, to make him think there was two Kravens. And when he figured out that the Chameleon was one of them and revealed himself, basically got him to reveal himself, he got Kraven to basically run and try to get another strategy to take on Spider-Man, running into Spider-Man's web that he had placed, in a certain spot. And he caught Kraven there and basically took off the handcuffs that Kraven had put on him. And he got the police to, capture the Chameleon, as well as he left Kraven there for the police to find as well. Now, Peter gets the photos that he, took of their battle, and basically of the Chameleon as well, getting captured by the police. And J. Jonah Jameson basically, pays him what he's gonna pay him, and even offers him a slice of one of his favorite, I guess, desserts or something like that. I think it's like a chocolate bar. And we also get to see that, that Peter's just not feeling up to talk to Betty right now, because they're just really having relationship problems. Later on during the day, he finds out that, he was supposed to meet Mary Jane, which we know who that character is, as Spider fans, but she hasn't been introduced in this comic yet, so we won't talk about her too much yet. But she basically had to cancel because of a headache. And, Peter goes to call Betty to see if she wants to hang out after all, because now he doesn't have to, do this, like, dinner date with Mary Jane, or this meetup, I guess to say, this introduction to her. And Betty basically just hangs up on him and doesn't give him the time of day. So he's basically, saying that he's just going to call Liz Allen, which shows the toxicity of the relationship, that he's willing to go hang out with this other woman just because Betty's mad at him, which shows the immaturity of Peter at this moment. And, this is something he'll outgrow in the future, probably. So that's just how it is. And it turns out that she's actually out dancing with Flash Thompson. So Peter's all by himself, basically, here at home. So he goes out, basically, for, a lookout of the city. And it turns out that the Chameleon and Kraven are basically given a pass, and they're not going to be going to jail in New York City, but instead are getting deported to, it seems, where Kraven's from, Africa. So the Chameleon basically asks them if they're going to be coming back, and, Kraven says that he's going to be training in the Congo jungles, and basically is going to get stronger and then come back to defeat Spider-Man. So we'll see Kraven basically come back to fight Spider-Man in the future, as well as the Chameleon. So that's pretty cool. And the issue ends really funny with Spider-Man basically saying that he wishes he could be on that ship, not knowing that two of the people that he had just fought against were on that ship. And that's how the issue ends. And yeah, that was Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's The Amazing Spider-Man issue 15, the debut of Kraven the Hunter. Overall, I really enjoyed this issue, and I can't wait to go through the rest of this run. Steve Ditko and Stan Lee are just amazing together, and if you've been following this whole retrospective of their entire run, you can definitely see that. But there's not much else to say, guys. If you haven't already subscribed for more of this run, we're covering the entire run. Every week I drop a video until we get completed, and we'll see if we're going to continue with the John Romita run afterwards, depending on how well this series does. So if you haven't already, like the video, comment down below what you liked about this issue, and share it around on social media to grow the Comic Clash channels. But until next video, guys, God bless you. Until next lesson, keep on reading those comics.